Hello and welcome to Theology on Tap. I hope you're having a wonderful day. We had a really good weekend because we just celebrated our 27th year wedding anniversary, and we had a really good time. And this whole idea about marriage, wife, kids, raising a family, and everything else that goes along with raising a family, I love it. I think it's wonderful. It's great, and it's something that I highly recommend. All right, don't be shy of it. Jump into it. Anyway, the way we celebrated our wedding anniversary is we took the family and we went to see Avengers Infinity War. Now, we have all seen the movies. I think there were 19 movies they have made in the past 10, 11 years. And we watched them all as a family. And we have either liked or loved every single one of Marvel's movies. Every one of them. So you could say we're a Marvel fan, but as you know, this is the climax. This is the end of all the movies that leads up to this movie. So the hype was great, and this movie does not disappoint at all. And I know in a big picture like this, a movie could have been 3.5 hours long. Maybe it should have been. But in order to make the money and whatnot, it was cut down to about 2 hours and 40 minutes. So I could understand that. And there are some complaints and people nitpicking here and there. But don't even listen to that, because it doesn't really get in the way of the grand experience that you're going to have watching this film. It's really, really good. It's not the best of the best, but my son did give 10 out of 10. I'll probably give 9.8 out of 10, but it was that good. It's an amazing movie. You'll love it. But I love watching movies a lot because it also represents life. The greatest story ever told is in the Bible, and it's about Jesus Christ and what he has done and saving the world through dying on the cross and whatnot. There's the villain and there's the hero, there's love, right? The sacrifice, and you gotta have all those kind of things in order to make a good movie. But in order to make a great movie, you're gonna have to have a powerful and great villain. And one of the biggest complaints that Marvel movies had was that the villains were kind of weak, sometimes very weak. And that has been the biggest complaint. And it seems to me now like Marvel they did that on purpose now. That's how I think. They did it on purpose because they're going to set up all the movies for this movie, Infinity War, and the villain in this movie is Thanos, and he is the strongest villain of all. I mean, he was very powerful even before he got all the stones. He meets Hulk, and Hulk is getting into a big fight. They're going at it, and that was the opening scene. And so right from the beginning, you're right into the fight, and you would think, the way I thought about it was, and I think everybody else thought was that Hulk is just beating him up, right? But it turns out Thanos is playing with him. Right? Thanos is stronger than Hulk, right? And this is before he got all the stones, right? So he is the biggest and the baddest villain that we have ever seen. And as he gets more stones added onto his gauntlet, then he becomes stronger and stronger. Then, how can you stop a villain like that? Right? So when the Avengers are trying to get to him and to stop him and to save the universe in a way, because Thanos has his belief, and you get to understand why he's doing what he's doing, even though it's kind of misguided. In my opinion, this whole idea that the universe is overpopulated, because there are a lot of people who believe the earth is overpopulated, and they say that it's a fact. I don't know if that's true or not. I think we have the resources, not only that, we have the brains to make it work. I'm a believer of that. However, it doesn't really matter because that's the belief system. So when Thanos has his minions and they believe in the belief system, and they actually think what they're doing is good. All right? What is good? By killing half of the people in the universe is a good thing for the future, right? So you got a super villain here with super ideas, with superpowers. How do you stop somebody like that, right? And the movie shows that it's impossible. The Avengers are strong, they're mighty and powerful, they're the heroes. and they get together to stop Thanos, and they have zero chance. I mean, there are times when you feel like, oh, they have it, they may have a chance here and there, but at the end of the day, there's no chance. Like when I saw the preview of the movie, you see Steve Rogers, Captain America, holding onto Thanos' hand and kind of battling with him. So you think, wow, Steve Rogers, man, Captain America, he's strong. He's really strong. He could go against Thanos. But in the movie, you see that, Thanos is not really struggling at all. He's just toying with the guy, right? I mean, Captain America is nothing compared to Thanos. So he's super powerful. He has all the stones now, and with the snap of his finger, he accomplishes what he wants to do. It's kind of cool. The very last scene when he's sitting on the throne by himself, looking, and he's got a small grin on his face, like he has accomplished what he set to do. I mean, and no one was able to stop him. And what is so cool about it, though, is that throughout the whole fight scenes and all that struggle, I don't even think Thanos break a sweat or anything. Not at all. He has a mission. He wants to get it done. And it seemed quite easy. He's not like flying around and jumping around and anything at all. He's just walking most of the time. He's just walking through and saying, I'm here. I'm going to kick your ass. And that's it. Right? And just as powerful as can be. So it makes it seem like in order to make Thanos such a great villain, they had to kind of, show villains in the past movies to be not as powerful. I don't think that makes sense. So there's a progression of evil that gets stronger and stronger and stronger. And as the evil gets stronger, then the superheroes get stronger. Now we get to a point where, we're not strong at all compared to Thanos, that is. And I bring up the Bible and the story of Jesus Christ and whatnot because, if you think about the adversary or the enemy or the villain in the story of the Bible is Satan. And I want to put Thanos and Satan side by side and say, okay, maybe in the story of Jesus Christ in the New Testament, Satan's like Thanos. But if you really look into the history of Satan and how he became who he is and whatnot, you see, just like in the Marvel movies, in the very beginning, I think when Zechariah talks about Satan and stuff, he's working for God. He's not like an enemy of God. He's working for God. He has his purpose. He's a kind of like angelic being. I don't know if they have free will to just rebel against God or not, but he's an angelic being. In fact, one of the Jewish writings that I read is that it says that when Satan comes to tempt you, he's rooting for you. Meaning that, his job is to tempt and be the adversary. However, he's hoping and praying that you will not listen to him. Right? And to me, that makes a lot of sense. If he's really working for God, he's doing God's bidding. Because who can be an enemy of God? And that's one of the things that even in this movie, Infinity War talks about. When Loki is dying, he looks at Thanos and says, yeah, but you're not a god, right? You think you're powerful, but you're not that powerful. It brings that kind of a hope and say, yeah, you know what? He is not a god, even with the stones and whatnot. Okay? So, Satan is not God. Satan is not, really, it's just a created being in a way, right? And who's working for God. And as the stories go forward and gets to the New Testament, somehow, Satan becomes more powerful. He's the prince of the, he owns the world. He's the ruler of the world. He was cast down from heaven and he rules this world now, kind of a thing. And he has his minions, like those, I don't know, were they monsters or something? When in those big battle scene in Wakanda, I don't know what those things are that they're fighting against, but let's say those are kind of like the demons, right? Demons are powerful, meaning they come and they could possess you and make you do things that you don't want to do, and all that kind of stuff. And how did Satan get that powerful in the New Testament? But then he gets more and more powerful, and around 500 AD, somebody draws Satan. Now the Bible says Satan was the most beautiful being, right? Of an angelic being, but when Christians start drawing what they believe Satan looked like, all of a sudden he has horns and whatever. I thought it was kind of funny when Star-Lord looks at Thanos and he said, "Hey, your chin looks like a ball sack or something." And I wish he wouldn't have said that because throughout the whole movie I'm just staring at Thanos' chin, and it took away some moments from me, I guess you could say, but. Satan gets horns and he becomes very hideous looking. He's all powerful and things like that. And, Christians have to like pray and fast and to fight, Satan and all that. But at the end of the day, we have no chance against Satan. They have no chance against Thanos. That's what I was thinking throughout the whole movie. And Satan becomes more and more powerful as the years go by. And as of today, as Christians, what we believe in Satan is that he owns the world. He owns hell, a place called hell that is totally different than the Old Testament. Hell progresses too, And then he owns the world and every human being and animals and everything. Because we believe as Christians that every single person in the world was born to go to hell. Satan won, just like in the Infinity War. I could see Satan sitting in his throne with a grin on his face and with a smile saying, I won. I have accomplished what I was supposed to do. And that's what I think a lot of Christians believe. Satan is all that powerful. Because when Satan is powerful, then our fight against the Satan, our big battle against Satan is going to be powerful. It makes a very interesting story, right? It becomes more powerful, more meaningful in a way. But, at the end of the day, if you look into scripture, what did Satan do to Jesus? He tempts him 3 times and stuff like that, but Jesus defeats him pretty handily. Paul says in Colossians, I think, he says that Jesus made a spectacle out of Satan. Avengers didn't do that to Thanos. Right? I mean, there's nothing in the Bible that seems to say that he is this almighty being who holds the keys to hell, and every single person in the world is born to go with him because he won the battle. Part 2 is coming though, Avengers Infinity War Part 2. I don't know what it's called yet, but Jesus is coming back to fight the battle for us, to bring salvation to the world, kind of a thing. And it makes for a greater story if you have a super villain. And sometimes I feel like we have created a villain that is much, much stronger than what it was intended to be in the New Testament. I will make another video talking about why Satan is our adversary, not so much the ruler of hell and everybody's going there, but what his job is, in a sense, the way he tempts us, and things like that. Maybe I'll make a video about that. But I just want to make this video to just say it was a great movie, awesome story, awesome because the villain is so powerful. And there's somewhat of a hopelessness at the end of the movie. I'm sure some people didn't like the ending because all the superheroes, half of them die, or they just disappear. They become like ash. So it kind of leaves you with this idea like defeat, And I think, that makes the second part of this movie, which is coming out next year, so much more interesting, so much more, and the anticipation is already there. I think what they should do is start selling tickets for next year's movie right now, so I could go ahead and purchase it and get my seats early. That's what I think. You know how much money that movie made? Crazy. Over over 600 million worldwide, but over 250 more than that probably in the United States alone, or North America alone. That's just unheard of. It's the most ever. Great movie because there's a great villain, all right? And I just kind of want to put the Bible in this mix of it just to say, I think one of the reasons why we make Satan to be such a powerful, entity is because without Satan being that powerful, Christianity is not as interesting. It's not as, I don't know, people won't fight as hard, I guess you could say. Well, that's what I think. I mean, don't you notice that? How Satan becomes more and more powerful and more menacing as the years go by? Right? But the biggest thing he could do is to lie and to put thoughts in our minds that takes away from our relationship with God. I'll make the video on that next time. Anyways, go watch the movie. All right, go watch the movie. And read your scripture and understand who our enemy is. Anyways, God bless you. Watch the movie, and then I'll see you next time. All right, bye.